death of Gabby Pettito captured the public's imagination. The mystery and strange circumstances around a seemingly perfect romance between two young people turning deadly was a multifaceted tragedy of epic proportions. After setting out on a road trip with her boyfriend Brian Laundrie, Pettito never returned. Here are the disturbing facts of the case. Gabby was reported missing on September the 11th, 2022. The couple left New York on a 4-month cross-country trip. They documented their travels on YouTube and Instagram. While on the road in Utah, police responded to a domestic problem, and the couple had an argument that led to police intervention. The police report stated that issues between the two had been building over the last few days. In this video, I want to look at potential patterns of abuse recorded on the body cam, and perhaps missed at the scene. This is no way intended to blame the police, but look at the psychology of the situation. Domestic survivors often think they are to blame for poor treatment. As Lauren Cook says, PhD therapist based in Los Angeles, oftentimes the survivor's feelings towards perpetrators are complex. Rarely do we have relationships with people that are all good and all bad. In such situations where intimate partner violence is present, yes, there is aggression, isolation and blaming, but there is also passion, intrigue and times when partners are loving towards one another. This creates a sense of cognitive dissonance, says Cook, which is when you have difficulty integrating conflicting pieces of information. Holding all the pain with all the pleasure leads many survivors to blame themselves rather than see their pattern in their entirety. If we look at some of the key moments of the footage, you can see key examples of self-blame and minimization by Gabby about Brian.
I was distracting him from driving, I'm sorry. I have really bad OCD and okay. I was just cleaning and straightening up back of him.
You slapped your face or what?
The other side of the coin is the blame that abusers place on others. People who abuse others often avoid responsibility as a defense mechanism. Aggressors often shift blame to someone else to maintain their sense of power by having the survivor feel as if they are the cause of the behaviour, says Sabrina Moreau, Psych D, a licensed psychologist. It distorts their reality by pushing away the individual from realising that they are in an abusive relationship, she adds. What blaming other people sounds like? Words like, "You're crazy, you made me do this, I wouldn't have done this if you wouldn't have done that. Look what you made me do."
Why wouldn't he let you in the car? Because of your OCD?
He told me I needed to calm down. Yeah. But I'm perfectly calm. I'm calm all the time. And he really stresses me out. And
what's going on? She just gets worked up sometimes, and I try and really distance myself from her. So like I lock the car and I walk away from her. What happens is just crazy. No, I don't think so. No, none that I know of.
Control isn't always in your face, sometimes it's the little things. Controlling behaviour is often subtle and slow moving. This is how aggressors are able to assert power gradually. It rarely happens with a sudden and intense onset, as many people would walk away from this behaviour. It's often not until a relationship has been established that controlling behaviour works its way in, and that they're looking out for their partner by making judgment calls on their lives. As you can see in the footage, Brian plays on Gabby's fear of abandonment by constantly bringing up abandonment and leaving her in a fear of abandonment.
all morning and he wouldn't let me in the car before. And then
why wouldn't he let you in the car? Because of your OCD?
He told me I needed to calm down.
So like I lock the car and I walk away from her. What happens more? It rings the phone. And I was holding on to the keys because I didn't want to go anywhere. And my big fear is, I don't have my phone, I don't have a phone. So I saw the male trying to lock her out of the vehicle. She even told us that he was trying to lock her out, told her to go take a walk, so that she was trying to get in. She eventually couldn't get in and actually clawed her way in through the driver's door. He says, I don't understand why she's doing that. Well, I think it's because it was the only door that wasn't locked that she could get through. So she's trying to get in over him. Give her my keys. Absolutely. Almost midnight. And man, I can't talk to her at all. Well, and I've got to do the thing, so I can't go camping. We can tell her what it is that she needs to do to get...
Put-downs may be subtle. In abusive relationships, put-downs about your goals or the hobbies you love can erode your confidence over time. Aggressors belittle or put down their partner to diminish their credibility and self-worth. It creates a vicious cycle for the survivor of feelings of self-blame, guilt, shame, as well as unhealthy thinking patterns such as, I deserve this behaviour. Gabby was trying to start a career as an influencer before her murder. Here we can look at two moments where Brian is potentially belittling Gabby in small and seemingly discreet methods.
Across the country, and I'm trying to start a blog, become a blog. So I've been building my website, so I've just been really stressed. And he doesn't really believe that I could do any of it, so that's kind of been like a, I don't know, he's like down there, I don't know, we just been fighting.
What happened this morning is that she's trying to start up like his own little website blog and everything, so I give her time.
There may be reactive abuse being present. If someone pushes your buttons enough, you may snap, which is called reactive abuse. This can include verbal outbursts, breaking objects, or physical violence. Reactive abuse confuses who is at fault, says Rahman Al-Bagami, a licensed professional counsellor in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The response from the survivor could be perceived as lashing out during the abuse, making it look as if the survivor is the one who started the whole problem. Reactive abuse occurs when the person who abuses pushes the survivor into acting reactively by screaming, yelling, or crying, thus proving to the abuser that the survivor is mentally unstable or ill, she adds. Al-Bagami says that the reactive abuse can happen in response to being made to feel crazy, gaslighting, isolation, lying, and manipulative tactics.
I'm calm all the time, and he really stresses me out, and this is a rough morning. Or anything. I was yelling at him, and then when you turned your lights on, I like kind of punched his arm, like there's a just an
So
idiot.
she's saying like,
I was trying to get him to stop telling me I'm hungry.
well, it doesn't sound to me like she attempted to injure him. It's your call.
At the time of the altercation with the police, Brian was successfully controlling the narrative. Impression management means trying to control what others think of you. We all have it to some degree, but people who behave abusively do it to gain the upper hand. They may be the one person in public and another behind closed doors. At their core, they don't feel so great about themselves, even with all their bluster, says Thomas Plante, PhD, Professor of Psychology at Santa Clara University. Here we can see examples of Brian potentially trying to elicit sympathy from law enforcement.
Because we were there from 9 to 3, so yeah, there's a few little things, just little relationships. I don't know if you're in a relationship, but I'm sure
I've been married for over 5 years now. So.
there's a lot of little things.
Yeah, I can go.
And
I get it.
We really, it was, no. Okay. I'm fine, and I love Gabby. I hope she doesn't have too many complaints about me. I'm just, you know, I feel bad I think it's so public. I was just trying to be loud to listen. This is, you know, I try to make her calm down and be like, look, everyone's watching. And like, stop this.
Similar to Chris Watts' television interview, it is easy with hindsight to pick the bones out of every word and gesture used. However, there are breadcrumbs of information beneath the surface which can be used to educate law enforcement for future use, particularly when arriving at domestic disputes. Brian later killed Gabby, and then himself, leaving his skewed logic and justifications behind in his suicide note.